Hey world, how are we doing? So this week we had Nomad 8 come to visit us. We've had some challenges for quite some time, even predating me, with process. There's been a bunch of different things tried and nothing seems to have really stuck, and no one feels that the current solution is really working either. So Nomad 8 were invited to come in, spend some time with the team, understand what we want from a process, and work with us to build a new one. So, Nomad 8 have been in for the last 3 days with a gentleman called Nick White. He's an awesome guy, he's worked with the team really well. So, what process did we go through in order to determine what we wanted from a process? We went through an exercise of determining what was important to us in a process and what was important to us about how we work. We identified what principles we, as an engineering team, held highest, and then we looked at what are the current pain points that we find in trying to achieve those principles. We then went through some problem solving, trying to determine what exactly we could do, or we could attempt, in order to resolve these various questions derived from the problems we encounter with our principles. This brought a few things to light that we find most important to us. At the top of the list, by far, was teamwork, how we work together, both in a professional sense and in a relational sense. We desire a clear understanding of who's doing what, how each other does it, and more collaboration from the way we work. Through the second day, Nick spent some time individually with people and with small groups, understanding their own personal view on the problems and what potential solutions they considered, and just getting to know the team and how they work, as well as spending time with us, observing our existing working practices. So I spent a bit of time with Nick and with Erwin, testing through what Erwin has been working on recently. Nick more as an observer, but it also required us to explain in slightly more depth and in broader context as to what the problem was and what we were trying to achieve. This both helped Nick in getting a better picture of what we do, but it also helped us in identifying and observing what we're already doing, which I think is a really useful exercise if you can achieve it. And so on to the final day, where throughout the day, a small group worked on a potential process. Just before lunch, the smaller group pitched the new process to the team, explaining a few things, and then we broke for lunch and some time to reflect. After coming back after lunch, we nutted through a few questions, identified a few areas to observe that we have concerns about but willing to try. So one point of contention is the daily stand-up ritual. This has been tried here before without much success, and there is some trepidation to trying it again. What's important here is, I guess, what information are we trying to get out of a stand-up, and why are we trying the stand-up model? Where we failed before and where stand-up fell down before appears that it seemed to be regarded as a check-in. Yes, I'm here today. And spent about 15-20 minutes of setting up for everyone to spend 2 minutes running around saying, yeah, I'm still working. This was done prior to my arrival and prior to the arrival of the product manager and the designer. So it was just a circle of devs confirming what they're working on with each other, most of which they already knew. We face a slightly different problem now in, however, as we have myself and product and dev and a larger team. So the information we're looking to gather from a stand-up or similar kind of scenario is identifying what are we working on, so that the other business interests, such as myself or product or design, can know whether they can contribute and whether they can assist in any way. It's not simply just about saying, hey, I'm blocked. To be honest, as someone raised yesterday, if you're blocked, you shouldn't be waiting for the next day. So what does the new process look like? Well, we're moving from a Kanban, where we had pretty much an endless list of work that we kind of groomed on a Friday, through to a 6 week cycles, we're calling them, where over a 6 week period from inception to delivery, we will produce a piece of work. 6 weeks is a large chunk of time, and when I first heard about it, I was a bit concerned because 6 weeks is very, very difficult to estimate what you can achieve within that time. However, the way we're doing our news cycles, we have 2 weeks of dedicated time at the beginning of the cycle for investigation, sizing, scoping, design refinement, and exploration. This means for a new product, we can do some investigation into the best technology, we've got time to understand the problem fully, we can think about what our success measures are, and we can work the product down into a small, manageable piece of work that hopefully the intention is will be developed with an estimate of 3 weeks. So that takes us up to about week 5 with the 3 weeks of work. What about the 6 weeks then? So this is for product refinement and preparation for a company demo. The idea being that after 6 weeks we'll have something to show over a couple of different product areas. Splitting down into small sub-teams to work on an epic, we'll be collaborating in groups of 2 to 4 probably, and focusing on very close collaboration through this 6 week period. As anyone who works in engineering knows, there's a bunch of other work that goes on alongside any product feature work. Supporting old features, supporting the customer success teams, as well as trying to learn and develop and improve your own abilities. To this end, we will have a weekly cycle where one of the developers each week will not be taking part in the feature work. They will be the principal point of contact for support escalation, and they will get opportunities to go and fix broken windows or innovate and explore some new ideas, try out a new technology, or even just go and learn something different. Some of the other features of this new process is the continuation of the weekly demo. However, depending at the point in the cycle of the demo, what that looks like will be quite different. So in weeks 1 and 2, there's still a demo at the end of the week, but here you're explaining your intention of the solution, how you want to approach the problem, and what exploration and what learnings you've achieved in determining that that's the way to go. This gives devs with a fresh point of view from outside of the team the opportunity to bring in some fresh insight and some previous knowledge without needing to be embedded in the team on a day-to-day basis. At the end of the 2 weeks, we'll be demonstrating what work we think we're going to achieve over the next 3 weeks. This allows us to cement and share our approach in that team to delivering. It gives the teams freedom within the larger framework to explore different working practices, how they work together as a team, what kind of rituals they observe within the practice. This gives the team regular checkpoints where they can share their learnings, but also have other colleagues with fresh perspectives on the problem potentially raise up some red flags. Throughout the main development period, again, every Friday there's a small demo. This is just a point to share what code they're working on, what tests they're implementing, and also a checkpoint to see that we're on track and we're feeling confident that we can deliver. And then at the very end, after the 6th week, is the whole company demo. This is going to be a larger affair and we'll need some practice and some planning. And the time is given in that final week to do that. But also in that time, we can affect bug bashes, bug fixes, refinements on the product, and have some space there for any overrun. So what does the new process mean for me as QA? Well, I'm going to be sitting astride both teams. I'm not going to be working embedded in one of these feature teams, but supporting both of them. It means in those first couple of weeks, there's going to be quite a bit of demand on my time to attend the product meetings and planning sessions for both epics. Hopefully, with our upfront investment of time and effort in the first 2 weeks, the team with a greater understanding of what is success for this feature and how we're going to measure that will not need to backload as much testing effort as we have seen in other projects and features, and many people see on a day-to-day basis, where all the testing is crammed in at the end of a cycle. During the whole 6-week process, I continue my responsibility as a point of escalation for support, and I'll be working with that BAU developer at each point through the cycle to be improving and implementing quality in support as well. And I'll be working more closely with the support teams to have a better support flow right throughout. Overall, I'm really excited about this new process. I've got high hopes for it. With potentially some little tweaking here and there, we may be able to really improve our efficiencies and deliver real quality to the product. All right, well, that about wraps it up for this episode. And I guess we'll be exploring over the next few weeks how this new process is working. So until next time,